it's Nancy Jane Smith, and I am here with another edition of Live Happier Q&A. Today's question, it comes from Lori, and I'm thinking it's one we're all going to relate to. And Lori says, my in-laws drive me crazy, and I'm headed there to spend a week with them. How can I cope? Okay, Lori, here's going to be my answer. First off, it's going to require some planning, so I'm really glad you sent me this question before you headed to visit your in-laws, because it's going to require you and your husband to kind of sit down and have a conversation about how you're going to handle it. Truth is, your in-laws drive you crazy. You said it in the question, so you really need to be honest about that. And I want you, before your conversation with your husband, to sit down and think about what do they do to drive you crazy. The relationship of in-laws is a challenging one because we're asked, as the in-law, to walk into a family that has all these traditions and rituals and events and act as if we've been there all along, when really we haven't been there very long. Some of us may have been there for decades, for years, but we weren't there growing up. So we weren't there when the parent-child relationship was established. So it's hard to join in as a child, as the child role that we're supposed to take and become part of that event. So give yourself a break that it's hard to work with in-laws. It's hard for a lot of us. The next thing I would say to you is to get really clear on what it is they're doing. So is there behavior that they're engaged in that just drives you crazy? It's just annoying, it's not something you would do, but they're really not being mean or malicious, they're just trying too hard or not hard enough or something, and it's just not behavior that you enjoy. But you know, at the end of the day, they're not being mean or malicious, they just don't get it. So know what those behaviors are, and then know what the behaviors are where they're just being mean and rude and downright evil, and you don't want to be around that. Two separate types of behaviors. One is something they're doing that's unacceptable. The other is something that they're doing that's just them, and you might need to learn how to work around that. On these behaviors, I want you to sit down with your husband and talk to him about what can we do when I get triggered. So when I get triggered with my in-laws, what can I do? Can I take a walk? Can I take the kids to the park? Can I say I need 5 minutes and go upstairs? How can we best facilitate this event? So if I'm triggered, I can say to you, hey, and leave, and you'll know I'll be okay. I just need to get regrouped. Or if I get triggered, I'm going to go, hey, I'm going to go up to my room, I'm going to sit there for 5 minutes, and then I need you to come up and talk to me. So figure out what the behaviors are that they engage in that trigger you, and then figure out a way that you and your husband can get past those and through those. Now, for the behaviors where they're being mean and downright rude, figure out a healthy way that you can confront them on that. So can you say to them, I'm not putting up with this behavior, this is not appropriate, I'm going to take the kids and we're going to leave. Can you confront them on, these are our kids, we're going to raise them the way we want to, and we don't appreciate you being that cruel to them. However you feel it's acceptable to confront them, I give you permission to do that. So confront them in a loving way, but you don't have to take abuse or evil or meanness just because they're your in-laws. But work it out with your husband on how to best do that. So I hope that helps, Lori, in helping you figure out the best way to communicate through this. The key is going to be for you to get clear on what it is exactly they do that drives you crazy, and then to figure out a way of dealing with that. That's a healthy way of communicating with your husband, with the kids, and knowing that this happens, you can put some things in place to prevent it. Thanks, have a great one. If you have a question for me for Live Happier, please just send me an email. And if you have comments on your own relationships with your in-laws, I'd love to hear them. Just drop me a line in the comment section below. Take care. Bye.